हेलो डियर फ्रेंड्स, स्वागत है आपका हमारे चैनल लर्न विद आसिफ पर, जहां हम लाते हैं डेली बिजनेस अपडेट्स और ढेर सारी जानकारियाँ। चाहे वो मोटिवेशनल स्टोरीज हो, चाहे वो इंस्पिरेशन के लिए हो, चाहे वो शेयर मार्केट से रिलेटेड हो। तो जी हाँ, देखते रहिए हमारे चैनल को और हमारे चैनल को लाइक करें, शेयर करें, सब्सक्राइब करें।
Okay, so get this. We're diving into the crazy world of online shopping in India today.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a battleground out there.
It's amazing.
Like, seriously, picture e-commerce giants, right?
Yeah.
Going head to head with these quick commerce ninjas, and they are shaking things up.
It's incredible. The pace of change is just unbelievable.
Right. Like, I've had that thought, how do we even function without, like, instant delivery for everything?
Yeah.
But, okay, before we get ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
let's rewind a bit, back to the beginning.
You bet.
You've given us some really cool sources that track, like, the whole evolution of online shopping in India.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
All right, so, like, origin story time. Hit me with it.
Okay, so picture this. It's the mid-90s, right? The internet itself was, like, brand new.
Oh, yeah.
Online shopping, it was this niche thing.
Right.
Mostly because, well, the technology just wasn't there.
Ah, the days of dial-up.
Exactly.
Not exactly. Like, built for browsing and impulse buys.
No, not at all.
Uh.
But then around 2007, things started to shift.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
mobile phones, they became more accessible, and people were like, wait, I can use the internet on this thing.
Total game changer.
Right.
Suddenly, everyone's walking around with a mini computer in their pocket, and they're ready to shop.
Exactly. And, you know, that's when those big players, they made their move.
Yeah.
Flipkart, they launched that very same year. Then Amazon India comes along in 2013, and it's like someone just, like, opened the floodgates.
It's wild how just a few companies can just disrupt, like, a whole industry, right?
Absolutely. And it wasn't just them either.
Right.
All these specialized online platforms started popping up, like Myntra for fashion, Nykaa for cosmetics, catering to, like, every single need.
So it's like having an entire mall, but, like, on your couch.
Exactly.
Then things took another turn, right?
They did.
Tell me about this whole quick commerce explosion.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. The real turning point, from what I'm seeing in these sources, was around 2017. You remember Reliance Jio?
Oh, how could I forget? Affordable data, it changed everything.
Exactly. Suddenly, everyone and their grandmother was online.
Right.
And then, bam, the pandemic hits.
Yeah.
Online shopping, it's not just convenient anymore, it's a necessity.
Right.
And that's when those quick commerce players, they saw their opening.
So we're talking like Zomato's Blinkit, Swiggy's Instamart.
Yeah.
The ones promising your groceries at your door in like under an hour.
You got it. But it went beyond just groceries, you know?
Oh, really?
Remember during the Cricket World Cup when everyone wanted those team jerseys?
Oh, yeah. The frenzy was real.
It was huge. And these quick commerce companies, they were all over it.
What did they do?
Delivering jerseys, fan gear, faster than you could say 6. It was brilliant marketing, honestly.
Okay. That's impressive. But how do they even pull that off? It can't just be about speed.
No, you're right. There's a whole strategy there. So at first, those e-commerce giants, they wanted to be the main retailers buying stuff in bulk to offer those lower prices.
Right.
But as they grew, they shifted to more of a marketplace model.
Interesting. So instead of being like the only shop in town, they became the entire town square.
Exactly. They opened up their platforms to individual sellers,
Okay.
offering customers way more variety and, honestly, creating a ton of competition for those traditional brick-and-mortar stores.
Yeah, makes sense.
Think about electronics, for example.
Oh, man, I can't even remember the last time I bought, like, a phone or a laptop in an actual store.
Right. And this whole marketplace thing, it's great for us shoppers, but it's put pressure on those smaller businesses to adapt.
It's a double-edged sword, right? Like, yeah, more convenience and affordability for us, but maybe at the expense of the little guy.
It's classic disruption.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about to get even more disruptive because now we've got quick commerce joining the party.
Uh-oh.
And they're not just here for our snacks anymore.
Okay, this is where it gets real. So what are these quick commerce companies doing now?
They're coming for those higher-priced items that e-commerce had on lockdown, electronics, appliances, you name it.
Wow, really?
Even stuff like bouquets of flowers, the latest video games.
That's bold. So it's like they've declared war on the e-commerce giants?
It's definitely heating things up.
Okay.
And this brings us to a point your source makes that I think is super interesting. This whole need for speed, it comes at a price.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because Yeah, as a consumer, faster delivery, lower prices, love it.
Of course.
But someone's got to be paying for all of this, right?
You're right, and that's the thing. Neither e-commerce nor quick commerce are consistently making a profit right now.
Really?
Yeah, they're burning through investor cash like crazy.
So it's a race to the bottom. Like, they're so busy trying to beat each other on price and speed, they're not even thinking about, actually making money.
You got it. And it really makes you wonder, how long can this last? What happens when investors get tired? And this is where we got to start thinking about another group caught in the middle. Small businesses.
The local shops, the heart of our communities, how are they dealing with all of this? I mean, competing with these online giants can't be easy.
It's a total David and Goliath situation, and your source really gets into the challenges these local shops are up against.
Like, what are they facing?
It's like they're being squeezed from all sides.
Okay, paint me a picture. What are the challenges? And more importantly, is there any hope for them in this new world where everyone wants everything instantly?
Well, let's unpack that right after this quick message from our sponsor.
So we were talking at those local businesses, right?
Right.
Stuck in the middle of this whole e-commerce showdown.
Yeah,
Sounds like a tough spot to be in.
it's tough, for sure.
Yeah.
The sources you shared, they don't sugarcoat it.
No.
It's not looking good for the local shop owner.
Okay.
They're facing pressure from all sides, like seriously, all sides.
Okay, how many sides are we talking here?
At least 4, I'd say.
4! Okay, so who are these 4 horsemen of the retail apocalypse?
All right, well, first you've got the e-commerce giants, those big names we talked about.
Right, the Amazons, the Flipkarts.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then you've got those quick commerce disruptors coming in hot with those crazy fast delivery times.
Okay, that's 2.
Right.
Who else is gunning for them?
Well, you can't forget about those big box retailers. They've really upped their online game.
Right.
And then there's this whole trend of individual brands selling directly to consumers online.
Cutting out the middleman.
Exactly. So, yeah, they're surrounded,
It's like they're playing a game against like 4 other players at the same time.
basically.
So, I mean, is there even a way for small businesses to compete in that environment?
There is, and it comes down to playing to their strengths.
Okay, what's that?
They might not have the size, the money of those online giants,
Mm.
but they do have something those tech companies can't easily replicate. Real, genuine customer relationships.
It's human touch.
Exactly. In a world of, like, impersonal transactions,
Right.
that personal connection, it means something.
It does.
And your sources, they highlight some really practical ways small businesses can use that to their advantage.
Okay, like what?
Well, I mean, think about it. How many e-commerce CEOs know you by name?
That's a good point.
Or remember your favorite brand of tea?
Right.
It's different.
Yeah.
But it's not just about being friendly, you know?
No.
Your sources go beyond that.
Okay.
They talk about really knowing your customer.
Okay.
Building a customer database, even a simple one, can be huge.
How so?
Imagine knowing their purchase history, what they like, even their birthday.
Okay, so it's about like going the extra mile.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's about making them feel valued, like more than just a transaction.
Right.
And here's another thing. Local businesses, they can often do same-day delivery in a way that those big players just can't match.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not about like building this massive delivery network,
Yeah.
but using their local knowledge, their existing relationship.
Precisely. Imagine being a customer and the shop owner personally delivers your order that same day.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
It makes a difference.
It does.
And the source mentions one more thing.
Okay.
Something else those apps can't replicate.
What's that?
Good old-fashioned credit.
Wait, like pay me later kind of credit?
Exactly. Building that
Mhm.
trust, that loyalty.
Right.
That's harder to do online.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not just about those individual interactions either.
Yeah.
The sources you shared, they really emphasize becoming part of the community.
Okay, so like sponsoring local events, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Being present, participating in local associations, it all matters.
So basically, small businesses need to double down on what makes them unique.
Yes.
The personal connection, the community focus, those things that no algorithm can replicate.
That's their superpower. It might seem like David versus Goliath, but don't count those small businesses out just yet.
I like it.
They have a fighting chance if they play their cards right.
They just need to play smarter, not harder, right?
Exactly. But now, let's get back to those Goliaths for a second.
Okay.
We've talked about the e-commerce giants, the quick commerce disruptors.
Right.
But who's actually winning this battle?
Yeah, someone has to come out on top eventually.
You'd think so, right?
Right.
But here's the thing. According to what I'm seeing right now, Nobody is,
What do you mean?
in terms of actual profit, at least.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that race to the bottom we talked about.
It is.
Yeah.
Everyone's so focused on being the cheapest, the fastest,
Yeah.
they're forgetting about the bottom line.
So what happens next? If no one's really winning, what does the future hold?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right.
And to understand where things might go, we need to look at the strengths and weaknesses of each business model.
Okay, so like a strategic comparison. What are their key advantages?
When it comes to e-commerce, their biggest strength is still variety.
Yeah, they've got everything.
It's mind-boggling. Need a quirky phone case, a vintage record player, whatever.
Right.
Chances are they've got it.
True.
But what about those quick commerce companies?
Yeah, they must have some advantages too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Speed and agility, that's their game.
Yeah.
They've mastered the art of delivering those everyday essentials, like instantly.
They have.
And that speed, it gives them a real edge with those repeat purchases, like your weekly grocery run.
That makes sense.
If you're delivering the same stuff to the same people every week,
Right.
you can optimize everything, become super efficient.
Yeah, like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's much harder to do when you're dealing with, like, every product under the sun.
Right, the sheer variety of e-commerce.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Those e-commerce giants, they're not dumb.
No.
They're not just going to sit back and watch quick commerce take over.
So they're fighting back.
Yes. They're finding ways to speed up their own delivery times.
Didn't Amazon try that before?
They did. The source mentions Amazon's nearby thing, promised 60-minute deliveries.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
They even tested it out in Bangalore, actually,
Right.
but it didn't really work out.
So even for Amazon, speed at that scale, it's tough.
It's a challenge for sure.
What else could, like, tip the scales in this whole battle?
Well, geography is a big one.
How so?
Right now, quick commerce is mostly in those big metro areas.
Makes sense.
Lots of people close together.
Right.
But e-commerce, they've already got those tier 2, tier 3 cities on lockdown.
So if they can figure out how to combine that reach with a quicker delivery model.
They'd be a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
That's what makes this whole thing so interesting. It's constantly changing.
Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Exactly.
But for us, the shoppers, I mean, it means more choices, better prices, faster delivery.
It's a win-win for now,
It is.
but like we've been talking about,
Yeah.
we got to be mindful of the downsides of all of this.
Of the need for speed. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
we'll leave you with this thought.
Okay.
The next time you're about to hit that buy now button,
Yeah.
take a second, think about everything behind that.
Right.
The choices we make as consumers,
Yeah.
they shape the future of all of this.
They do.
Food for thought.
Absolutely.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah.
You get so caught up in, like, snagging that awesome deal and getting our stuff like instantly
Yeah.
that we don't always see the bigger picture.
It's easy to get swept up in the convenience factor.
Totally.
But like we've been saying, this whole race to the bottom, it might not last forever.
Someone's got to pay the piper eventually.
Exactly.
And right now, it seems like it's coming at the cost of profits.
For both e-commerce and quick commerce. Yeah.
So what happens next? If neither model is really winning, what does the future look like?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah, it is.
I think to understand where things might go,
Yeah.
we got to look at the strengths and weaknesses of each model.
Okay, so like a head-to-head, what are their biggest advantages?
So with e-commerce,
Yeah.
their biggest strength, it's still variety, I'd say.
Yeah, they have like everything.
They've built these massive online, like, empires, offering almost anything you can imagine.
It's true. It's mind-boggling.
You know, a phone case, a hammock, a record player, whatever.
Right.
Chances are they've got it.
Yeah.
But those quick commerce companies, they've got their own advantages too.
Right. Like what are their strengths?
Speed and agility, that's their game.
They've definitely mastered that.
Oh, yes.
Getting those everyday things to you, like instantly.
Exactly. And that speed gives them a real edge when it comes to, like, repeat purchases.
Okay, yeah, like your weekly grocery shopping, that kind of thing.
Exactly. If you're delivering the same stuff to the same people week after week,
Right.
you can really fine-tune everything,
Yeah.
become super efficient.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. That's much harder to do when you're dealing with every product under the sun, you know.
Right. Like with e-commerce, there's just too much variety.
Exactly. But here's the thing. those e-commerce giants, they're not just going to sit around.
Yeah, they're not going to take this lying down.
No way.
So what are they doing to fight back?
They're finding ways to speed up their own deliveries.
Didn't Amazon try something like that before?
They did, yeah. The source mentions Amazon's Nearby program.
Oh, right.
Trauma 60-minute deliveries.
Yeah, I remember that.
They even tested it out in Bangalore, actually.
Really?
Yeah, but it fizzled out.
Interesting. So even for Amazon, speed at that scale is tough.
It's a challenge, for sure.
So besides speed, what else could, tip the scales in this whole battle?
Geography plays a big role, I think.
How so?